Welcome back to the Startup Show. I'm John Biggs. Today on the show we have Mahboud Zabetian. He's the founder and creator of Kinisium, which is a fairly interesting hardware product. Welcome, Mahboud.
Hi, how are you doing?
Good, good. So tell us about this thing. This is a little device that keeps things secure, right?
Kini, our product, is a relatively simple device that you place next to something that you care about, something that's sensitive, something that's hazardous, possibly lethal. And when it moves, when it detects that somebody is messing with that thing, it'll send you a text message right away. It doesn't send a message to the police station or to the alarm company and send people to your house. It sends a message directly to you. It's discreet. You get the message, you deal with it yourself, and nobody else has to know.
Okay, so it's a motion. It detects motion. It detects like proximity. What does it detect?
It detects vibration.
Hmm.
So it doesn't have the infrared motion detector like a lot of us are used to that turn on driveway lights. It detects. It's got an accelerometer like most smartphones have, and it detects small movements in the X, Y, and Z planes. And so you can place it on a door. You can put it in a drawer. You can dangle it from an item. That item could be a firearm. It could be a bottle of liquor. It could be the your violin or whatever it is that you think people shouldn't be touching or moving around, and then you immediately get notified if that happens.
What was the inspiration for this?
We were talking to our now adult kids about things that happened in their childhood that they thought were crazy or, kind of questionable. And there was a story of one of our daughters going to a party where the parents weren't there, and one of the host kids said, "Hey, come over, I want to show you something." And they went to the dad's room, and they were exposed to the dad's guns,
Mm.
and the our daughter was like, "Yeah, I don't know if they were loaded, they weren't loaded, but we got to handle these things, and God, that was crazy." And as we talk to other people about this, it seems like this is sort of a universal thing. I mean, when we were kids, it was more like, "Hey, come over here, look at my dad's magazines," or "Come over
Yeah.
here and see, this stuff that my grandfather has like collected over the years." And nowadays, it seems like more and more people are finding, with the number of guns we have in this country, people are stumbling on their parents' guns. And it's one thing to own guns; it's another thing to own guns that get in the hands of kids and end up in schools and playgrounds. And so we started thinking, this could actually be, we could do something about this, and it could be a product that could save some lives.
Hmm.
Our experience has been a lot of tech, a lot of marketing and sales, and all of that is fine and great, but we hadn't done anything that actually touched people like saving lives. And we thought, oh, this is going to be a great product for us to do. And it's really simple for parents and owners of these dangerous or lethal things to get one of these and put it on their device and excuse me, put it on their belongings. And you know, why not? It's
Hmm.
it's uh, it's it's great safekeeping.
And what is the price on this thing, and how are you selling them?
So a kidney costs $65, but you can also get it in 3 and 5 packs where the price is significantly reduced. The What we're finding is that most people who buy one realize that, oh, I now have one on my gun safe, but I'd like one on the liquor cabinet and one on the medicine cabinet. So
Hmm.
we're making it easy for people to buy multiple ones. You can buy directly from our website, kinesium.com, or you can get them from Amazon.
Okay. And how's the process been for you folks to getting hardware out?
So the hardware and the tech part of it has been a breeze. That part was, what everybody told us initially, like, oh, hardware products are so hard to do. You have all these issues with reliability and logistics, and actually that part was the easy part. The hardest part for us has been marketing, and the reason for that is it's very hard to market a product that um, is designed to be used for guns or drugs
Hmm.
or prescription medicines or alcohol. There are a lot of auto filters on advertisements that will detect, for example, the image of a gun and
Hmm.
reject the ad. We've had ads rejected because we said alcohol or we showed the bottle of liquor. We've had
Hmm.
ads rejected because we showed, images that had some text in the image that indicated that it was for, one of these classes of items. And so that's the part that we really had a hard time with. We have good reviews on both our site and on Amazon. People like the product, but it's just nobody told us that marketing such a product would be such a challenge.
It's and so how are you routing around that?
So we're finding that we're having some success by going to, for example, gun dealers. We walk into gun dealers and we show them the product, and they, at first they're a little bit reticent because they're like, we've already seen everything there is to see, but then they see, oh, this is pretty simple and it's very discreet. The product can't be triangulated. It can't, we don't collect any data that could be used to identify the user. So, if we got a subpoena, for example, to tell us where somebody's stash of whatever is, we don't have that information. We can't give anybody information we don't collect. So,
Hmm.
so they see that and they like it. They tell their, they sometimes carry it. We have some gun shops that carry Kini and they resell them. And other ones, let us talk to, they when they have like their, uh, sort of client, customer meetings or whatever, they invite us to do a demo. Um, we're also finding some success with trade shows and gun shows, and where we basically just put a table up and talk to people as they walk by. So we're doing a lot of that. As far as the online marketing goes, we're trying to be really discreet about like what we show in our images. For example, we found that if we only show a part of the barrel of the gun,
Okay.
it'll work. If we show a liquor cabinet with blurred out pictures of bottles, that usually
Hmm.
works. But that usually requires more
It's almost like
time
you have
on
to
our
make a
part.
captcha or something like that to make sure that the AI can't catch it.
Right.
Interesting. What is it
Yeah.
about your background that led you to build something like this?
Well, for years, I worked on doing B2B software, a product that was a network management product that really helped the internet be developed. It was a diagnostic tool for networking. And, I touched a lot of big companies, Bank of America, Anheuser-Busch, Boeing, Motorola, and so on. But I felt a little unfulfilled because I could never go to a cocktail party and say
Hmm.
what I did and have people understand it. People be like, what are packets? I'm like, well, the way the networking internet works is, these packets go back and forth. So I decided that the next thing I was going to do was something that I could explain to my mom. So
Hmm.
I got into doing a company around iPhone and Android app development, and we did a number of titles. There was our most popular one was one of the first magnifying glass apps for um, these devices. And then from there, a number of games. And after that, I got hired onto companies to do their first iPhone or Android app. I worked at Google for YouTube for a while. So I actually did, apps that my mom was using. So I was really
Hmm.
happy about that. But the one thing that we hadn't done was, did we do anything to change the world? Did we impact lives in a really positive way that I can, look back and go, that was really something. And I really wanted that, like, save a life or, do something that impacts the world better. And that's how Kinesium came about.
Okay. So what's next for the company? What are some plans?
Well, as we've done this product, one of the things we've been asked for quite often are devices that do similar things, but for the elderly. So one of the first things that happened was we got people who asked us, "Hey, I have an elderly parent who forgets to take their medication, and can you do a product for them?" In that case, we could actually take the Kini that you've seen and that I've shown you, and there's a setting on it that sort of flips how it works. Instead of telling you when it moves, it notifies you when it hasn't moved.
Oh,
It's
interesting.
called it's called the stasis mode. You turn that on, you put it in the medicine cabinet. If your parent is not taking their medicine once every 12 hours or once every 8 hours, whatever the number is that you specify, you get a text message saying, hey, the medicine cabinet wasn't open in the past 8 hours. And so that allows you to either go over or call and say, hey, I think you forgot to take your medicine. So that we're already doing, but the next step from that is people are saying, there are companies like First Alert that have these bracelets or pendants. When somebody falls, it has a button, you press the button and it calls for help. And they said, well, my parent is somebody who either lives with us or lives really, really close by. I don't
Hmm.
want, a whole army of other people going over to see what's going on before I can get a chance to go over and check things out. Because, sometimes it's something as simple as, they've dropped something, they need help picking it up. And, with some elderly people, it's hard for them to, get down on the ground and stand up again. And so
Hmm.
we're going to create another product that's in beta right now, where you basically have two buttons: a button for come help me, and a button for emergency. And between those two, and also it has fall detection. So between those and movement detection or lack of movement detection, we can tell you, hey, this parent of yours has not left their bed or their room in the past 12 hours. You really
Interesting.
need to go over. Uh, so that's our next thing. There's a number of other safety devices that we have on our roadmap for the next year or so. And but really, right now we're trying really hard to get this product accepted by the market, or even just noticed by the market, since a lot of people don't even know how to search for something like this because they don't know it exists. I mean, what do you look for? A vibration detector, a motion detector for guns? Those are things that a lot of people don't think exist. So
Yeah, fascinating. Yeah, it sounds like a fairly good problem to have because once you solve it, then you basically the world's your oyster, essentially, right?
that's what we hope.
Hmm. All right. So the website is Kinisium, Kinisium.com. Mahboud, thank you for
Correct.
joining us. This has been fascinating.
Well, thank you very much, John, and thank you for allowing us to join you.
All right. This has been this has been the Startup Show. I'm John Biggs. We'll see you next episode.